What do Ottawa hockey, empty seats on flights to Vegas, and a national debate over who writes our criminal laws have in common? They're all shaping how Canadians move, argue, and cheer this week. Quick Ottawa weather. A high of 6 degrees Celsius, a low of -5 degrees Celsius, with periods of rain. Here in the capital, the housing file is back in the spotlight. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe says the city will cut red tape to speed up home building, aiming to lead the country on new starts. Residents are cautiously hopeful, but skeptical on affordability, as high interest rates and prices still bite. Faster permits help, but the math has to work for builders and buyers alike. Watch for how the city ties approvals to infrastructure and affordability targets over the next few months. Across Ontario, the mayor of Caledon is calling for federal help after a string of extortion threats linked to the Lawrence Bishnoi gang escalated into shootings at a local family's home and farm. Police say South Asian residents have been targeted with threats and demands. The mayor argues local resources aren't enough and wants Ottawa to step in with coordinated investigations and immigration, financial, and policing tools. It's a reminder that organized crime is a national issue that crosses municipal borders, including ours. Meanwhile, in Ottawa policy circles, a surge in court rulings striking down parts of Parliament's penal code is pushing the old debate about who governs back to the front page. Supporters call it a necessary constitutional check. Critics see judicial activism overruling elected lawmakers. However you view it, the takeaway is that all three branches, Parliament, Cabinet, and the courts, own the state of the criminal justice system, and any fixes will need all three rowing in the same direction. Let's talk travel, because the way Canadians are flying is changing fast. Major carriers cut U.S.-bound flights by more than 14% in the fourth quarter, with sharp drops to Florida, California, and a 33% reduction to Las Vegas. Instead, airlines ramped up service to the Caribbean and South America, up 36% last quarter and 45% this quarter. Cost pressures are part of it, but politics and policy are in the mix. Some Canadians are citing U.S. policy under President Donald Trump as a deterrent. And a new $100 fee for non-citizens at certain national parks, framed as America First pricing, isn't helping the welcome mat. History says many travelers eventually return, but for now, the beach chairs are shifting south of the usual border. Complicating the Caribbean picture, there's fresh anxiety after a U.S. military operation in Venezuela that reportedly resulted in the capture of President Nicolás Maduro. The United Nations and others have criticized the move as illegal, and Cuba says it lost 32 military personnel during the operation. Travelers eyeing the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curaçao, are second-guessing plans because of proximity to Venezuela. If you're booked, keep an eye on official travel advisories and airline waivers. What happens next diplomatically could ripple through routes and insurance fine print. To the ice, the Ottawa Senators hit a speed bump. Utah's Carol Vejmelka stopped 33 shots in a 3-1 mammoth win, Ottawa's first franchise loss to the new club, as Utah celebrated being named host of the 2027 Winter Classic. Ridley Greig had the lone Sens marker. Levi Merlainen made 18 saves but couldn't outduel Vejmelka. Early finishes from Lawson Krause and John Marino put Ottawa in chase mode, and a third-period Daniil Butt goal survived a goalie interference review to seal it. It's back-to-back losses for the Sens after a nice string of wins, so tightening up starts will be the focus. And about that tough night in Denver, Colorado blasted Ottawa 8-2, tying a franchise mark with 6 second-period goals. The headline was Josh Manson's Gordie Howe hat trick, 2 goals, an assist, and a fight, with his dad, former NHLer Dave Manson, watching in the stands. It was Manson's first career 2-goal game, and the Avs stayed unbeaten in regulation at home, now 18-0-2. It's also Colorado's 7th straight win over the Senators. A streak Ottawa will want to end when the schedule swings back. Off the ice, Sens general manager Steve Staios issued a rare, forceful statement calling out trolls spreading false rumors about Linus Ullmark, who's away for personal reasons. The team asked for privacy and said enough with the speculation about players' personal lives. It's a good moment to remember. AI-fueled rumor mills and doctored screenshots can move faster than facts. If it isn't coming from the team, the league, or a verified report, treat it as noise. Junior hockey fans, the Ottawa 67s fell 4-2 in North Bay. The battalion's Ryder Cali scored the third-period winner and an empty netter, while Nick Wellenreiter had a goal and 2 assists and goalie Mike McIver stopped 25. Newcomers Sebastian Gervais and Hayden Barch fit right in for North Bay. Barch brought the body, Gervais the veteran poise, their coach said. Jasper Kuta and Ryan White scored for the 67s, and Ryder Fedorov made 22 saves. North Bay jumped to second in their division at 20-16-2, while the 67s will look to reset before the weekend. Around Canadian university sports, McGill's women opened the semester with authority, beating Bishops behind 18 from Lily Rose Chatala and a do-everything line from Amelia Diaz-Ruiz, 14 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks. McGill's 45% shooting and 24 points off turnovers told the story. They're now 5-2 and second in the RSEQ. Bishops drops to 4-3. On the Hill, mark your calendars. Stephen Harper's official prime ministerial portrait is finally set for unveiling on February 3rd, 3 years after the painting began. It's part of events marking 20 years since the Conservatives' first one under Harper, with a gala to follow. Hosted by his consultancy and corporate sponsors. Expect a who's who of former cabinet ministers and MPs and a fresh round of legacy debates. Before we wrap, 2 quick threads to pull together. First, the courts versus parliament tug-of-war isn't just legal esoterica. It's about how we define rights and safety, and it can change what police, prosecutors, and defense lawyers do on the ground here in Ottawa. Second, travel patterns and climate are increasingly intertwined. While today is rainy and above freezing, winter volatility is the new normal, and with airlines chasing demand to warmer destinations and geopolitical shocks nudging routes, the way Ottawans plan winter escapes is getting more complicated. Factor in insurance, flexible tickets, and check advisories early and often. That's the roundup. For Sens fans, patience and perspective. A couple rough games don't erase progress, but the details, defensive gaps, second-period swings, matter. For City Hall watchers, the housing test will be in permits issued and units delivered, not promises. And for travelers, the sun may be shifting a little further south this winter. Thanks for listening. If you've got story tips from your neighborhood rink or your building committee, send them our way. Stay dry out there, high of 6 degrees Celsius, low of -5 degrees Celsius, with rain in the mix, and we'll talk soon.